Hey everybody, Brian Klock. Welcome to another episode of True on Two. True stories about folks on two wheels, and I don't know that I could get a better area here to look over. We're downtown Kelowna, British Columbia, right?
Yes.
And we just had a fabulous weekend.
We did.
McCurdy
Place block party.
I still can't hardly get it, Vanessa. McCurdy Place block party. It's going to be the newest, coolest block party thing going on. We already have committed, us, the Nesses, La Pera, we're coming back next year.
Awesome.
I mean,
awesome.
It's the final Saturday in May, right?
Yes.
The band Wild crushed it last night.
They had the crowd going from the word go.
There was a lot of energy there.
Oh, yeah.
You and I converged at a dealer show in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. You walked up to the bar and you said, hi, can I buy you a drink? I said, no, I'm good. And you said, let me rephrase that. Can I buy you a Jack Daniels? I said, okay, we can talk. And so we commonly bonded over this dang brand we know as Jack Daniels, right?
Yes. Nothing better to bond over.
Yeah, you had seen some of my bikes, some of the stuff, but man, the stories and the bottles and the collection of things you have in your shop is incredible, okay?
Thank you.
How long has Konquer been open?
Well, we started in 2007. I kind of like a midlife thing where my business was running very smoothly. My management was willing to take on the leadership without me there.
Because what's the other life?
Garden center. Grew up with plants.
Garden centers and choppers. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, well, I have a buddy, he calls it the tulips to two wheels story.
Okay, perfect. I love that. Keep going. Tell me more about the shop. Tell me, that was the heyday of the chopper craze.
Yeah. Well, 2007. So things were there was a rough time for a lot of businesses at that point.
Yeah, but you dove in.
But it was like the time really to jump into that situation because everybody was hungry to make sales to us. We were new on the block, and so we were pretty hungry to get people to accept us. And the timing actually was amazing. We started in a small little shop on the highway here in Kelowna, and within 3 years we outgrew it. It was just not big enough to handle the clientele we were getting, the work we were doing, and the inventory I like to carry. So we searched around and ended up, there was a nice chunk of property right next door to the brand new Harley-Davidson store. And I was like, okay, well, they'll have to drive around me to get to anyone else.
Wow, okay.
So I couldn't resist it.
Now you're the Burger King McDonald's guy.
Sort of.
This one builds here, I'll build right across the street.
Yeah.
That's a ballsy move.
And it was because I didn't know at the time, okay, either I go big or go home. I can't last in this little shop the way we're doing it. And
go big or go home.
Let's go big, okay.
Let's talk about your dad for a second.
Yes.
He kind of went big.
Yes. He obviously, I grew up under him in the garden center industry.
And then what happened?
And he got into politics at a very early stage in his life where there was a neighborhood. They knew he was the tree guy, and the city was going to cut all the trees down, so they talked him into speaking against the city. They managed to stop the whole process, but from there they pushed him to get into politics, and he worked his way through municipal, local politics to provincial politics, which he ended up becoming the premier, which is kind of like your governor position.
Okay, so you've got this example of an entrepreneurial spirit in your life, right?
Yeah.
And a leader.
Yeah.
A big time leader, right? When you become that, you've got a lot of people under you, a lot of things are happening, right? The one thing I saw yesterday and through your whole staff is they want to work as hard as they can to make Jeff's dreams come true.
Yeah, I am very fortunate. There's no question.
And so somehow you've created a culture where they want to do that. They're excited to do that. And you're excited for them to do that, right?
Yeah. Well,
you're like, you take that part, you take that part. And you're handing off batons as fast as you can get them out of the drawer. And everybody's running. And it looked flawless from the rest of our site. And I'm sure there's some things, but that happens with everybody, right?
Yeah.
But the best teams can call an audible, the best teams can call the play, and the best teams know how to organize when it's crunch time.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Last night, as soon as the concert was done, there was these young ladies taking down, the police tape where you weren't supposed to go, picking up things, taking down garbage, and I'm like, holy smokes, right? It's midnight.
Yeah. I think I'm that guy that my most important philosophy has always been I would never ask any of my employees to do something I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's sweeping the floor, picking up papers when you walk by it, to doing, the customer service angle and everything. I think they appreciate that. They know I'm not going to ask them to clean a bathroom if I won't do it.
Yeah.
So that's the way we all work together. And it's a team, as you well know.
Do you think your parents influenced you in that?
Well, I'm sure they did, yeah.
Because I saw the same thing even kind of come out of your sister last night, the first time I ever met her.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I thought,
This
the
is
influence interesting.
is
I
there.
wish I knew their background. I wish I knew their upbringing, okay?
Yeah.
So the tree guy, who then became the governor, whatever you call it, was he into choppers?
No. Brian.
Where did you go off the path and your dad went, wait, Jeff, come back?
And he has said that a few times. He's kind of like, well, shouldn't you be at the garden center? Like, yeah. It's through the industry I worked in, or grew up in, that I ended up joining a big cooperative across the country. And there I hooked up with some guys, a little younger than me actually, in the motorcycle industry or around it. And I just got kind of drawn to it. I didn't ride a motorcycle all my young years.
Wow.
When I was very young, I liked working. I went to work and I wanted to better myself all the time with that. So then I got together with some guys in Toronto, and every sales trip I went out, we'd go to one of their buddies' place and we'd get on choppers and drive around Toronto, and I just got to taste it. Well, then came the motorcycle license, and I'll bet I was 45.
No way.
I can't remember my exact age, but I went my whole young life never being on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And I got kind of drawn into it, and I saw a challenge in it. And then one year we were all down at Daytona Bike Week, and a few of the fellows we were with were or had been in the motorcycle industry. I got approached by a little shop in Kelowna that said, hey, do you know anyone interested in getting into a motorcycle shop? Because my partner that knew what it was about has left. I'm sitting here with the leaseholds and I don't know what to do, and I don't want to do it. So then the brain gets working, and I'm like, well, I'm kind of attracted to this, and I sure see a challenge. And so we sat down and we negotiated something. I said, look, I'm going to Daytona Bike Week in 2 weeks. Let me go talk with my friends, and we'll just kind of, I'll come back and I'll call you. So we get down there, and I said, guys, I need the pros, I need the cons. What do you think? I have this opportunity. And, one fella, his family owns most of the Toronto lands around the airport. So very influential, very knowledgeable on the finance side of everything. Another one was the bike shop owner. And then some of my friends who we all went. Did Daytona Bike Week, rode the beach, then took off down the Keys, went over the bridges and spent a day or two down there. I came back and was like, yeah, okay, this is a pretty attractive. Came back, asked my staff in the garden center, look, if I'm not here, are you up for it? Would you stand in?
And they were excited.
And they were excited, and they were up to the challenge.
They can get rid of their boss. Why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I phoned the guy that was wanting to sell. I said, okay, well, here's what I'll offer you. And there's one catch. And this was early March. No, got back from Daytona. It was March 16th. Phoned him up. I said, there's one catch at this price and with this deal. I kind of financed it a little or made a deal work.
Yeah.
I said, but I take over April 1st. Because I figured, well, if I'm going to jump in, I need the season to help me.
Yeah,
So
you know that was April Fool's Day. You know that, right?
I wasn't thinking that at the time.
Just
Might have been an April Fool at the time, but yeah. But April 1st, I took over the shop, worked 7 days a week that whole season to learn and to take it in and figure out what I was going to do. And it was 3 years later that we're like, an opportunity came up on the property next door to the Harley store.
Well,
And it was like,
that's where my mind is reeling now, because I mean, you didn't get into this thing until you're 45 years old or whatever the case was. And then you have a little motorcycle shop that you kind of take on as this, like, you know, sideline hustle hobby thing, right?
yeah.
And then you decide, I mean, your building is huge. How many square feet is it?
So we had the little shop we ran with about 4,500 square feet for shop, and
But the current
store is about 15,000 square feet.
Okay, it's 15,000 square feet of die-hard motorcycle shop. Like, there's not even motorcycle shops this big with that much inventory in all of North America that I've ever been into, okay? Like, people say, well, J&P Cycles down in the US, and I'm like, it's not the same. J&P Cycles looks like Walmart for, you know, motorcycle stuff, right? And that's no offense to them, but I mean, it's not a motorcycle shop like your shop, right?
No.
There's posters from the 90s or 2000s. One of them has Kim Kardashian on it before she was all fixed up without the bolt-ons. It's amazing, right? And then you look at like the Jack Daniels bottles and all these fun, goofy signs. And I mean, there's more biker shoes, right? And there's more helmets, and there's more apparel. There's more everything. The top row of that thing's lined with seats. If you cannot find a seat to fit your bike, you probably don't have a motorcycle. You came in on a tractor. Like, you don't know what a motorcycle is.
Yeah.
It's out of control.
Well, and when we had the little shop, our clients were saying, well, how can you go to a big store like that? How you're going to lose this ambiance? You're going to lose this feeling of
But you didn't.
a bike shop.
You 100% did not.
So what I did is I said, okay, how am I going to change this? How am I going to carry it through with a, 25-foot ceiling or 30-foot ceiling and on part of it? And so I thought, okay, we're going to start with using browns and wood, not go to the gray and the black the which would be 9 out of 10 people's choice.
Yep.
I wanted the warmth. So we used brown for wall paint colors, and we trimmed everything with cedar wood, rough cedar, and just kind of try to keep the same look and color tones we had in the small shop. And then when we were getting ready to open, which was, we built through the winter of 2009, and the goal was to open in May 2010. So I think for 2 or 3 weeks before we were even ready to open, I had my little scissor lift, and I was there after the shop was closing and sometimes part of the day, but I was there till 1 a.m. on the scissor lift every night with all the posters and the banners and all the cool stuff I could find
up all the
where
swag.
you couldn't put stock, at 15 or 16 feet and up, it's kind of hard. So that's what I started with. There was nothing on the floor, so I could take the scissor lift and go wherever I want, the lift. And I was stapling up and screwing up pictures and posters and everything. And then I've always said, somebody kept telling me, why don't you buy a Harley store? And I'm like, I can't have someone telling me I can only put 7 items on a wall. And I want my walls to feature.
Yeah.
And that means every inch almost is full.
It is. I mean, there's every oil, every cleaner, every phone mount. There's the weirdest, most eclectic, goofy chrome doodads and things that I don't even, like, I saw headlights in there. I don't even know where the hell you got them. It's the only place I've ever seen mirrors completely displayed. They're like stuck through like a cardboard sheet, or I don't know how you did it.
Metal tray, yeah.
Yeah, and they're all up there. But now I can see what it looks like. Not in a box, not in some shrink-wrapped package. I can see it, and I can go, you know what? That would fit on my handlebars. That would fit on my bike. So your eye for detail, your eye for landscape, your eye for flowers and colors and plants and textures and all these things totally permeates that whole shop. Yeah. And so that's where I think people don't understand, right? Because it's truly you. It's Jeff.
Yeah.
And this is Jeff's vision of Konquer, right? Yeah. You have this incredible team around you, but someone has to cast that vision, right? And you've done an incredible job of it. It was always been fun for me because we've literally been hanging out for 10 years because you come to the US to go to dealer shows. You're smart enough to come the day before so you can do a bunch of networking and get to the people you want to get to, right? Before they get busy with all the other dealers. You tend to stand out. And then now we get to go hang out at the Harley-Davidson Museum. We broke bread together. We've drank together. My team's hung out with your team. We've traded T-shirts. It's just been a treat, right?
Yeah.
And so to get here this weekend was mind-blowing to me. When I walked in that building, I don't know what I expected, but that's not what I expected, right? And I couldn't believe it was like just the most overgrown real motorcycle shop. And it just felt so cool to be able to see this fender tip off a Heritage to that tank emblem off a BMW or whatever it was, you know. And it's nothing you might need right now, but you have it on hand.
Yeah.
And if somebody came in there and they were dreaming about something, they could probably build something.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not, it's not a standardized inventory.
No. And I came into it with a little different attitude than maybe some would, because some would just be all about the money or all about the numbers. I came into it with, well, this is an opportunity. This is definitely a challenge. And once I made that decision, it was like, okay, well, I wanted to surround myself with motorcycles, hot rods, rock and roll, and Jack Daniels. So that's
all of that's in that building.
So that's what it started with. So now we've done 13 major concerts, as we can talk about the one last night. We've done the 13 major concerts. So we've had our cut in the music side, and we work with so many musicians and friends on that side. We then did the hot rods by opening the hot rod shop next door. We started in a smaller shop, same way, outgrew it in a few years. And then the rock and roll. So it was the motorcycles, the hot rods, the rock and roll. And then I meet this guy and I get to know him well. And he's like, Jeff, I don't know someone up in Canada that promotes Jack Daniels more than you do. So I'm nominating you to be a Tennessee Squire. Well, that was the last thing on my bucket list. Well, not that he had a bucket list, but my list of surrounding myself with. So I take that with pride and still represent the brand very well.
It was an honor to do it for me, and it just made perfect sense, right? And so as many bikes as I built with Jack Daniels and all the events I've done with them and all the things I've worked with, you truly bleed the brand and not on a commercial level. You're just doing it because you love it, right? And so it's so fun for me to see that. And so I believe that your passion comes through everything you do, which also made you take another street that led you down to hot rods. Did your dad say, Jeff, I asked you to come back. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, they go hand in hand, right?
Clearly you're burning gasoline on both ends and Jack Daniels in the middle. What the hell? Just, hi, this is Konquer Fireworks.
Yeah, the hot rods was just, we dabbled at first. And
what you got now is not dabbling. I hate to tell you, but you've gone
and that grew. So now we're 15,000 square feet on the hot rod
across
side.
the street.
Across the street. Well, that was.
So if you're listening to this, if you're watching this out there, if you've never been, plan some time. You're going to take a minute to take in the motorcycle shop. You're going to walk across the street, take in the hot rod shop, and everybody there is going to tour you around and show you what you want, answer all your questions. It couldn't be more welcoming. It's so fun.
Yeah. And the staff all love what they're doing. That's what makes it, that's what shines through in them.
Yeah.
It's become their passion too.
You've got a lifted Ford truck over there with a gigantic big block in it, 4-door, was perfect, and now it was 2-wheel drive, now it's 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, it was a two-wheel
got-
drive automatic.
You've got Corvettes, you've got your old Merc, and there was a 79 Lincoln 4-door in there that had a raging big block in it.
Yeah, 688, I believe.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been to the Konquer Circus, come on, you got to go, right?
Yep.
Favorite bike?
Ooh. Well, you know, when I was first getting into it, my friends out in the East in Toronto, the shop was called Creator, which we originally started as in the first few years. They built me my first chopper.
Okay.
And it was called Insomnia.
Okay.
Matter of fact, with that bike, when they finished it, well, I went and we finished together. We worked through the night to put it together before 7 bikes got loaded up in a trailer to go to Daytona.
Oh, wow. And
that bike wasn't ridden or test ridden until we pulled over in the Keys and unloaded. No, I guess we unloaded just before Daytona. So it got broken in down there. So I would say through the history of it all, that's what really started me.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I've got a 1992 FXRT. That's pretty much stock. It's kind of my favorite in-house bike.
Yeah.
And not that I get a lot of time to ride.
Right.
But right now it's my like little shiner.
Yeah,
that,
your go-to.
Is there.
Yep.
But I have enough to choose from. That doesn't matter.
Right.
Take my dealer plate and I can go on any one of them to go for a ride. So,
online sales, you do that?
Yes, we do. We do.
You can't possibly list all that stuff online.
No. Now we're fortunate enough to work very closely with Parts Canada and Drag Specialties. So there's a lot of things we do in conjunction with them. A lot of drop shipping out of the warehouses. A lot of their catalogs end up on our website. But we do screen that. There are certain items, whether it's availability, whether it's that we can't say we have in stock because no, they're out of stock. So so we work pretty closely with them to make that work. We're probably one of Amazon's biggest V-twin suppliers in Canada.
Wow.
They move a lot of product for us. But between Amazon and between our website, which is growing fast and steady all the time, it's enough to definitely keep a bunch of people busy every day.
What are the shop hours?
Store hours in the motorcycle shop. Traditionally, we're open 7 days a week, except for a couple of winter months. 9 to 5:30 in the bike shop. 8 to 4:30 in the rod shop. And we're open Saturdays 9 to 5. Sundays we're open 10 to 4.
Wow.
In the
That's
running
incredible.
months.
So you can go on a weekend ride, come out cruising on a Sunday and just stop in and cruise.
Well, that happens a lot. Yeah. There's times we'll look out in the parking lot on a sunny Sunday in summer and there's 30, 40 bikes all lined up, everybody in shopping and some people sitting out at the picnic tables and relaxing.
Well, and I would encourage, our listeners to pick up the phone and call.
Absolutely.
Because you've got I'm telling you, there's funky I was in there at midnight last night after the concert shopping. I was looking at the used parts on that end. I was looking at all those funky taillights. The one taillight made me just want to build a bike around it. And I was like, oh my God, my wife will kill me. Right. So I didn't buy it, but it's still there. I can point out which one it was. But that's the kind of creativity and the kind of passion that comes out of that kind of place, right? Because you see something, you say something, you do something, you want something. But I was shocked, like even behind the counter, all the breakers, all the little, there's everything. There's points there. There's like, you don't not deal with shovel heads. You don't not deal with panheads. Like you'll work on any of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that doesn't happen anymore either. A lot of people are like, oh, can't get that part.
Well,
your guys seem to go on eBay and find whatever they have.
Yeah, whether it's eBay, we certainly have lots of good connections down in the States, competition distributing, V-twin.
Yeah.
If somebody needs something, we will work to find it however we can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I would say that you have those relationships in the States because you're a relationship guy.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. We're
What's your
all
philosophy
here to have
behind that?
fun.
I know, but you seem to like foster it. You'll pick up the phone at the damnedest times. You'll text somebody just to say, hey.
Well, it's got to work both ways, right? And I think I find that the more I can do for you, the more you do for us. And I don't want you to do stuff for us for free, as much as we're great friends. But ultimately, we all still have to pay the bills and we have to pay the staffs. And so if I ask you for something, I got to, in my own mind, prove to you that, yeah, there's a benefit here for me to do this. I'm going to work with Jeff because not just, well, okay, he's going to have a bike, he's going to have my windshield or my mount on it or whatever. That's not good enough to me. I don't like to ask for free things. I like to believe if I do ask for something that you're going to see right away, or I'm going to be able to explain why that's a benefit to both of us.
Right.
Has to work that way.
2 questions. One, what do most people not know about Jeff from Konquer? And secondly, what is it that you would like to leave our listeners, our viewers with to know about the future of Konquer? Like, look down that big tunnel again and tell me what's going on, okay?
Wow. Well, that's a tough question to answer.
Go with the trivia first. One thing I don't know about Jeff that you're willing to unveil here.
I don't know. I'm pretty much an open book, but I live it. I do live it. That's like, everyone says, when are you going to retire? Well, how do you retire from something you love doing?
Okay, I got one for you.
Okay.
How long you been married?
43 years.
Your wife is stunningly beautiful, wickedly talented. We're sitting right now in your home. There's all these fancy stuff around us. This place feels homey and fancy at the same time. That's hard to do, okay?
Yeah, well, that's all her.
I know it's all her. Let me talk. I'm asking you, why the hell did she pick you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, come on.
I don't think she did it first. I think maybe I pushed a little.
I think she
Until
thought
she
you
got
were
to
going
know
to be
me.
the landscape guy. I thought she thought maybe I'll take care of the house and he'll do the landscape.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe.
So when you took that road and your dad said, come back, Jeff, she said the same thing.
She knows me well enough to know that
whatever it is you're into, you're going to run.
I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to make it the best it can be. And
I was worried until I saw her art room downstairs. And now I know you both have creative brains. You just go in different directions.
Yes. Yeah, true.
It's unbelievable, these people. So if you get the chance, hang out with them, enjoy some time with them, have dinner. You're gonna have a great time. The vision of Konquer going forward, where's this thing go in the next decade?
Well, that's a good question too, because we're at that stage where, our area is only so big. So we know that when you get in bricks and mortar, you do get to a bit of a plateau. Mm-hmm. That will grow, but that will grow slowly. Online, of course, as we all know, has taken over a large part of the markets in a lot of things. Our website is up and running and strong and growing, and we're adding to it. There's always product added to it, whether it's new or whether it's finding old stuff. We have lots of space to grow there. We have lots of space to grow with our social media because I'm a little old school. I only know how to do so much.
But you got a handful of characters at that place for sure.
Well, I do have some people that help and are part of it.
They'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Like you got some people, right?
Yes.
We have one more question. What is it?
I think I might have 2.
Okay.
What would you say has been your biggest challenge in this whole new venture that you've taken? You've stepped away. You're still involved with the landscaping side of things, but what has been the biggest challenge since you stepped into the motorcycle industry?
Well, learning it, because I came in as green anyone could be when it comes to motorcycles. When I first started, I said, to a lot of people around me. I said, look, I want this snippet. I think my goal for myself is to get a snippet of respect for doing the right things that I saw Arlen Ness have, and my good friend here in Kelowna, Roger Goldhammer.
Yep.
Those were the two names and people in my head that I thought how they could be so humble and so professional
Yep.
and so respected.
I would agree with that.
And for me, it was just like, hey, if I get a little piece of that they have, I've done what I need to do.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from here on, it's just grow
Yeah.
as efficiently as we can, and as
Perfect.
you know, with the fun and challenge of it all.
Nice.
And there's obviously a lot of people coming into the industry that are, you know, inspired by things that you've done, Roger's done, Arlen's done, Brian's done, things like that. Where would you say, all things considered, COVID included, right? Where would you see has been your biggest overcomer moment?
Oh, wow. Probably moving from the smaller store to the big one. That was like, okay, wow. We're now we're one of the big guys.
It's a gamble.
We better live and learn the part.
Yeah.
Probably the most, I think. Because every day there's something you learn, or you do, or you have the opportunity on.
Yeah.
It's, for me now, it's more about keeping a lid on me.
Yeah.
I do a lot. I don't have a lot of time, although I've gotten smarter.
Yeah.
And I do manage to take some holidays now, so
Nice.
that's good.
That's awesome. Well, Kelowna, Canada's motorcycling community, you have a treasure right here in Konquer Motorcycles, Rods and Rides, Rides and Rods, I guess it'd be. I just mixed it up. Follow them on Instagram. It's Konquer Rides and Rods,
Yeah.
correct? Or I'll
Same
find
on
it.
Facebook.
Yeah, same on Facebook. Okay, perfect. Find them and keep a tab with what's going on. They're doing some cool stuff. They always have the latest, greatest brands from all around the world, and you can get it right here in Kelowna. And Jeff, thank you for hosting us this weekend. We will see you next year at the McCurdy Place block party. I nailed it
You got
finally, just before we get on the plane. You know, but the beauty of it is 45 years old, and then you went for it.
Oh, yeah.
What a treat. We're glad you did. The motorcycle industry thanks you. And what a great event we had last night. And so this just gives you a little insight into what they can do for you. Come see Jeff and his staff, and join us on the next episode
Yeah.
of True on 2.